Okay, boys and girls, so we are going to read chapter 2 today, and it is called Mario. So remember yesterday we met Mario, who is a young boy, like yourself, boy or girl. His parents are Mama and Papa Bellany, and they own a newspaper stand in Times Square subway station in New York City. We also met Tucker yesterday, who is a mouse, remember? And Tucker loves to scrounge things, which means he loves to keep things. He likes to hoard them. So today, we're going to start with chapter 2, Mario. Everybody ready? Here we go. Mario heard the sound, too. He stood up and listened intently. The noise of the shuttle rattled off into silence. From the streets above came the quiet murmur of the late traffic. There was a noise of rustling nothingness in the station. Still Mario listened, straining to catch the mysterious sound. And there it came again. It was like a quick stroke across the strings of a violin, or like a harp that has been plucked suddenly. If a leaf in the green forest far from New York had fallen at midnight through the darkness into a thicket, it might have sounded like that. Mario thought he knew what it was. The summer before, he had gone to visit a friend who lived on Long Island. One afternoon, as the low sun reached long yellow fingers through the tall grass, he had stopped beside a meadow to listen to such a noise. But there had been many of them then. Of course. Now there was only one. Faintly it came again through the subway station. Mario slipped out of the newsstand and stood waiting. The next time he heard the sound, he went towards it. It seemed to come from one corner next to the stairs that led up to 42nd Street. Softly, Mario went towards the spot. For several minutes, there was only the whispering silence. Whatever it was that was making the sound had heard him coming and was quiet. Silently, Mario waited. And then he heard it again, rising from a pile of waste papers and soot that had blown against the concrete wall. He went down and very gently began to lift off the papers. One by one, he inspected them and laid them to one side. Down near the bottom, the papers became dirtier and dirtier. Mario reached the floor. He began to feel with his hands through the dust and soot, and wedged in a crack underneath all the refuse, he found what he had been looking for. Under the refuse, boys and girls, that means under all the trash. Refuse means trash. It was a little insect, about 1 inch long and covered with dirt. It had 6 legs, 2 long antennas on its head, and what seemed to be a pair of wings folded on its back. Holding his discovery as carefully as his fingers could, Mario lifted the insect up and rested him in the palm of his hand. "Ah, it's a cricket!" he exclaimed. Keeping his cupped hand very steady, Mario walked back to the newsstand. The cricket didn't move, and he didn't make that little musical noise anymore. He just lay perfectly still, as if he were sleeping or frightened to death. Mario pulled out a Kleenex and laid the cricket on. So let me show you the picture before we finish. So here's Mario, and he's looking at the cricket on it. And then he took another and started to dust him off. Ever so softly, he tapped the hard black shell and the antenna and the legs and the wings, and gradually the dirt that had collected on the insect fell away. His true color was still black, but now it had a bright, glossy sheen. That means a shine. When Mario had cleaned off the cricket as much as he could, he hunted around the floor of the station for a matchbox. Now, a matchbox is what you keep matches in, so it's a little square box. In a minute, he found one and knocked out one end. And then he folded a sheet of Kleenex and tucked it into the box and put the cricket in it. And it made a perfect bed. The cricket seemed to like his new home. He moved around a few minutes and then settled himself comfortably. Mario sat for a time just looking. He was so happy and excited that when anyone walked through the station, he forgot to shout, "Newspaper, magazines." Then a thought occurred to him. Perhaps the cricket was hungry. He rummaged through his jacket pocket and found a piece of a chocolate bar. And then that had been left over from supper. Mario broke off one of the corners and held it out to the cricket on the end of his finger. Cautiously, the insect lifted his head to the chocolate. He seemed to smell it a moment, and then he took a bite. A shiver of pleasure went over Mario as the cricket ate from his hand. Mama and Papa Bellany came up the stairs from the lower level of the station. Mama was a short woman, a little stouter, that means she's a little fluffier, like Miss Moore, than she liked to admit, who wheezed and got a red face when she had to climb steps. And Papa, he was tall and somewhat bent over, but he had a kindness that shone about him. There seemed always to be something smiling inside of Papa, and Mario was so busy feeding his cricket that he didn't even see them when they came up to the newsstand. So, said Mama, craning over the counter. So that means she's stretching her neck and she's looking over the counter. What now? Oh, I found a cricket, Mario exclaimed. And he picked the insect up very gently between his thumb and his forefinger. So he did like this, and held him out for his parents to see. Mama studied the little black creature carefully. It's a bug, she pronounced finally. Throw it away. Mario's happiness fell into ruins. No, Mama, he said anxiously. It's a special kind of bug. Crickets are good luck. Good luck. Mama's voice had a way of sounding very dry when she didn't believe something. Cricketers are good luck, I suppose, and ants are better luck, and cockroaches are the best of luck of all. Throw it away, Mario. Please, Mama, I want to keep him for a pet. No bugs are coming into my house, said Mama. We got enough already when the screens are full of holes. He'll whistle to his friends and they'll come from all over and we'll have a house full of cricketers. No, we won't, said Mario in a low voice. I'll fix the screens. But he knew that it was no use arguing with Mama. When she had her mind made up, you might as well try to reason with the 8th Avenue subway. How was selling tonight? Asked Papa. He was a peaceful man and always tried to head off arguments. Changing the subject was something that he did very well. I sold 15 papers and 4 magazines, said Mario. And Paul, he just bought a Sunday Times. No one took on Musical America or anything else nice? Papa was very proud that his newsstand carried all of what he called the quality of magazines. No, answered Mario. So you will spend less time playing with the cricketers. You will sell more papers, said Mama. Now, Papa soothed her. Mario can't help it if nobody buys. You can tell the temperature with crickets too, said Mario. You count the number of chirps in a minute, divide that by 4, and add 40. They're very intelligent. Who needs a cricketer thermometer, said Mama. It's a coming on summer, it's in New York, it's a hot. And how do you know how much about the cricketers? Are you one? Oh, Jimmy Levitsky told me last summer, said Mario. Then give it to the expert Jimmy Levitsky, said Mama. Bugs carry germs and he doesn't come into the house. Mario looked down at his new friend in the palm of his hand. Just for once, he had been really happy. The cricket seemed to know that sometimes something can go wrong. He jumped onto the shelf and crept into the matchbox. He can keep it here in the newsstand, suggested Papa. So here is Mario, and there is Mama and the Papa Bellany. Mama does look a little fluffy, doesn't she? Mario jumped at the idea. Yes, and then he won't have to come home, and I could feed him here and leave him here, and you'd never have to see him, he said to Mama. And when you took the newsstand, I'd bring him with me. Mama paused. A cricketer, she said scornfully. So scornfully says that she's kind of mad, kind of upset with him. What do you want with a cricketer? What do we want with a newsstand? Said Papa. We got it, let's keep it. There was something resigned, but nice about Papa. You said that I could have a dog, said Mario, but I never got one. And I never got a cat or a bird or anything. I wanted this cricket for my pet. And then he's yours, Mario, said Papa. And when Papa spoke in a certain quiet tone, that was all that there was. Even Mama didn't disagree. She just took a deep breath. Oh, well, she sighed, and Mario knew that it would be all right. Mama saying, oh, well, was her way of giving in. But only on a trial he stay, at the first sign of the cricketers a friends, or if we to come down with a peculiar disease, out he goes. Yes, Mama, anything you say, said Mario. Come on now, Mario, help me close up the newsstand. And Mario held the matchbox up to his eye. He was sure that the cricket looked much happier now that he could stay. Good night, he said. I'll be back in the morning. Talking to it yet? I've got a cricketer for a son, said Mama. And Papa took one side of the cover to the newsstand, Mario the other, and together they fitted it on. Papa locked it, and as they were going downstairs to the trains, Mario looked back over his shoulder. He could almost feel the cricket, snugged away in his matchbox bed in the darkness. Okay, boys and girls, that's all of chapter 2. I will post it tonight and read chapter 3 for you tomorrow. I miss you. I hope that you're doing your IXL and Lexia. If you can't remember your Lexia login number, just send me a message on Dojo and I will get it for you. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.